If you've been going through my videos, you'll see that they were based on my stop smoking clinics, what I did to participants there, and over time now I've been trying to incorporate what I've done online, the types of approach that I've taken on our online group at through whyquit.com. Now, I've actually been trying to be, I don't know exactly how to describe this, but I'm trying to make the site welcoming and helpful to people no matter how they're quitting. I'm understanding there are people who read at other sites coming to this material. I see some sites, not all, I mean, in fact, probably not most, but some sites really encourage people to go to the whyquit.com site and utilize their material. Some of those sites, the ones that don't refer to us, I mean, they don't agree with our philosophy. They don't agree with our cold turkey philosophy. They don't agree with our relapse prevention philosophy. And that's fine. You know, people are participating there because they're more comfortable in a group that somehow sees things differently than we do. And let's understand that there's not saying there's anything surprising about that, considering most professionals see things different than we do. So, you know, we can't slam the people for doing that. Now, and again, I'm trying not to be condescending to these other sites, and I'm trying to help people from these other sites, but I feel like, in a way, I've been holding back on a really key principle here that I understand somebody seeing this may be on other sites, see it and not really like what I'm about to say here about relapsing, but I think for your own benefit. Yes, maybe you're participating in another site and you understand their views are different, but I think for your own benefit it would help you if you would separate from one aspect of what most other sites are going to endorse or how they're going to feel about this one principle. It is the one principle that I feel like, I mean, outside of quitting cold turkey, and I'm not even sure that this one isn't bigger when it comes down to it. It is the one principle that I think separates what I've done in live clinics and on the online approach more than anything else. It is the idea that one puff and your quit basically just went out the window. Most professional material will tell you, don't let a slip put you back to using. Most other sites, if somebody comes in and says they just had one, especially if now they're off for, you know, hours or maybe a few days, they're going to say, don't let it, you know, throw you then. Don't let it put you back to using. I mean, the real common phrase that's being used out there when it happens is because quit meters are so prevalent in other sites, the discussion comes out, you know, should I reset my quit meter? We have always had this clear distinction, even when we were taking in, or not taking in people, but keeping people in who had relapsed. We made it clear from day one that quit meters had to be reset when we were still accepting people to stay in after a relapse. It was for their own benefit. They needed to see that puff for what it was. I remember when people would come into clinics and literally say, you know, just smoking 2 or 3 cigarettes is better than if I had smoked a pack. And they were convinced that I really did know this, you know, and I was going for an optimal kind of thing, but this you know, in between was just, you know, 1,000 times better than what they were doing before. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And this is so crucial if you're going to keep your quit, no matter how you quit, no matter how long you're off. If you want to keep this quit, you need to break away from a philosophy that you're probably seeing a lot of, and that is, again, don't let the slip put you back to using. And, you know, one puff isn't that big of a deal. 2 or 3 cigarettes isn't that big of a deal. 5 cigarettes isn't that big of a deal. I'm not sure where they're going to make their delineation. You had better make your delineation, though, not to take a puff. This is a drug addiction. If you interview people who had been off smoking for years and for decades, who are now smokers again, and you find out what occurred in their cases, you'll see in a whole bunch of them that they were off for really long time periods. They took a puff one day thinking nothing of it. You know, it was off a cigar at a wedding. Someone had a baby. It was just a group of high school friends getting together for the first time as a reunion after 30 or 40 years. And, you know, they took a puff on a cigarette thinking, come on, they're clear, they're free, there's no way they're going back. They didn't understand what they were fighting. And now you will find many of these people again smoking for years and for decades because they didn't understand that principle. It is crucial to sustain your quit that you make your battle line for yourself. You know, regardless of what your group may say, regardless of what you're reading anywhere else, if you want to keep your quit going, you need to understand. You know, yesterday I did the law, or a couple days ago I did the video of the law of addiction that kind of covers this. You know, how you could argue this into an impartial jury and they'll say if you took a puff that you really weren't guilty of anything. This is a physiological addiction. Your body is going to demand you either go through smoking or you're going to go through quitting. Those are your options, and that's how you better see it. There's another video that I shot quite a while ago, the lucky ones get hooked. Because, you know, some people don't get hooked when they, you know, the way I'm saying this, it's like, oh no, you're going to get hooked right away. Nah, the lucky ones get hooked. And instead of repeating that whole video, go look it up. It's in the library. It is an important principle, though, that if you take that puff, you're basically throwing that quit out the window. You're either going through smoking or quitting again now or in the very short future, because you're going to repeat this action if you get away with it. That's the premise you'll see in the lucky ones get hooked. If you want to quit and you want to keep it going, or if you have a quit, it's even probably more important right now. If you have a quit and you want to keep it going, start thinking about this thing differently. You need to put in 100% effort to keep this quit going. One puff, you just threw that quit out the window. If you look at it like that, you won't take that puff. If you look at it in any other way, if you start to think in, you know, in some, you know, gray area here that, you know, maybe there's just a special occasion or a special event or a special way you can pull this off, or that you're different, you start thinking like that, you can pretty much already guarantee you're going to throw that quit out the window. Just a matter of when. Understand what you're fighting. You are fighting a puff. If you don't take that puff, you win. If you take that puff, you lose. And what you might lose is your quit, your health, and your life. You are fighting for your life. Don't downplay that for a second. If you want to keep this quit going, it really is a matter of understanding. To be successful forever, the only way you're going to keep this quit going is by sticking to your personal commitment to never take another puff.